of June. That's when we're taping. Biggest beef for the governor
is the nonsensical, slow roll, non-scientific based reopening of our economy that's killing wide swaths of our economy needlessly. We're the last state in some categories to move forward. Virtually every other state, including New York, sections of New York are ahead of us, and it's just not justified. And there seems to be no justification for it. And numerous people have asked, numerous news sources have asked, I've asked, what is this data that's determining the dates? And it isn't just us. Internal people in his own health department have said, we have no idea what metrics he's using. So it's really sad. And that crushes me because every day over the last month or every couple of days, let's be perfectly honest, I've had grown adult men and women, business owners in tears on my phone saying, we're ready to go. There's no reason why we can't open. This is small retail. These are people in mall locations. It's restaurants with outdoor dining that losing these last couple of weekends in the summer, especially, has crushed them. Every day that goes by, we lose probably hundreds of more businesses needlessly and thousands of jobs. And that's going to have ripple effects for the next years of our economy.
Senator, a couple of things. Let's remind people, this is the 16th of June. We're taping. It'll be seen after that. Decisions are constantly being made. But Senator, respectfully, playing devil's advocate, there are other states and other parts of the nation who have opened up sooner, much wider distribution but just opened up. And the cases are getting much higher, the number of COVID cases. Doesn't that concern you?
It does. And we have to be concerned about flare-ups of COVID, no question. But if you're going to argue, first off, none of those states have taken any measures to close back down. Some of them have hesitated with their reopening plans, which is wise. As you move forward, if you run into pockets of outbreaks, you deal with it. If someone's going to argue that we're going to move forward and avoid all risk, that means we need a lockdown for another year or two, and we're going to have massive recession and to the point where we're going to have malnutrition and the bottom's going to fall out of our economy. So no one is arguing that we do that. If we've won that argument that we're not going to be risk-free, there's no way to be risk-free and not guarantee a financial calamity, which is also a health calamity, then we have to decide about risk and mitigate risk on both ends. Mitigate the risk of prolonged financial impact and balance that with mitigating risk of health impacts. We certainly don't have to be the last to reopen. There are states that went first that are a month or more ahead of us. Some of them are having a resurgence.
But Senator, respectfully, but what would be sorry for interrupting, but what would be the governor's motivation to do that?
Save our economy.
No. What is his motivation to do what he's doing as we speak right now? There's no political benefit in that.
Well, look, I think he's buoyed by the supposed his high ratings, his popularity ratings, which I think are taking a dive right now. Look, I don't think there are people that ascribe some ulterior political motive to the governor. I don't think that's the case. I don't think he's craven. I don't think he's a bad man. I mean, we're friendly generally. I think it's a competence question and an arrogance question. I think
arrogance? Why arrogance?
Well, the people making the decisions within the administration seem to genuinely believe that their decisions are critical to saving thousands or tens of thousands of lives going forward now, keeping us locked down. I think they're wrong. I think it's basically a debate about the metrics behind those decisions. So I don't have any wild conspiracy theories. I just think he's wrong. And I think that they hesitate to take advice from other folks that might disagree with them. When you bring them alternative perspective, they dig in rather than open up and have a dynamic discussion and maybe make changes. We've seen several other states have advanced the rate with which they open. Governor Cuomo's done it. The governor of Connecticut has done it with no ill effects, by the way, that we've seen. This governor has not once that I can recall.
On the issue of long-term facilities, you have argued, others as well, that the administration, Department of Health, have mishandled the situation around nursing homes and long-term facilities with COVID-19 make the case?
There's no question, actually. I mean, we have enough evidence that we know that it was mishandled. The question is, who do we hold accountable for it? The CDC came out with guidance weeks before the governor's directive through the Commissioner of Health what was put out that looked at the continuing care facility in Washington State. And the CDC essentially said, don't do this. Don't bring these people who are infected or might be infected into these facilities that are housing the most vulnerable people that we have in our population, the older folks with comorbidities. Right. And then just days before, between Governor Cuomo's decision, which was similar to Governor Murphy's, and Governor Murphy's decision was several days later, we had the industry come out reaffirming the CDC guidelines. It shouldn't happen. So we know for a fact it was mishandled. There's no question. The question now is why and what led to that, and who do we hold accountable? These people deserve us, especially the ones who were killed by this policy, because there's no question they were, deserve justice.
Will there be legislative hearings?
There are. I'm pushing hard for it, and not just legislative hearings. We need some teeth. We need legislative Senate hearings with subpoena power. We've now seen the meltdown that's going on before our eyes within the health department.
Excuse me, subpoena power. Sorry again for interrupting. Are you implying criminal conduct?
I'm applying look, I don't know, and we won't know until we do.
Why subpoena power? For what?
But subpoena power because you want to be able to call people and compel them to appear and compel them to answer questions. If you don't have subpoena powers, there's no teeth to that investigation. And I'm stunned that my Democrat friends within the Senate have not stepped up. Very vocal people that I know care about these folks, and the people that died were every race, every socioeconomic background, every single senator, both sides of the aisle should be lining up, insisting on such hearings.
State Senator Declan O'Scanlan from the 13th Legislative District, I want to thank you for joining us remotely. Next time, hopefully, we'll be in the